Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like Zelensky is on his last leg or lap. Trump will try to remove Zelensky. I know it's undemocratic, but in reality, the United States of America has been doing this for some time. But Trump will face a big problem. Zelensky is not Ukrainian, if you know what I mean. So I don't know how that would occur, because Trump is was angered by Zelensky's response to his peace plan. Basically took a piece on Trump's plan. That's the first topic. Second one, the Europeans, and not only, come to their senses, to their reality, which is, you're not going to prosecute Putin or anybody from Russia. Why? How are you going to enforce that? They're going to drop a nuclear bomb on your heads yesterday. The United States of America agrees with that and halts Russian war crimes probes in Ukraine. That is, the United States of America will not investigate the alleged Russian war crimes in Ukraine. Well. And the last one, the last topic, Germany's economy is collapsing, is imploding. And we find out who are the big winners in that one. And that is the Alternative for Deutschland. And I'm going to show you what an opinion poll in Germany reveals about the Alternative for Deutschland's future elections, if they're not banned in the meantime. So let's start with Trump being angry at Zelensky. Russia Today, 23rd of April 2025, according to Washington Post, right here. Washington angered by Zelensky's response to Trump's peace plan. The Ukrainian leader has reportedly frustrated the White House with his public dismissal of the US roadmap towards peace with Ukraine. Chutzpah, it's chutzpah. What are you going to do? US officials are angered by Vladimir Zelensky's public dismissal of an American proposal to make territorial concessions to Russia in exchange for a peace deal in the Ukraine conflict, according to Washington Post. Now, think about this. If for 4 years at least, you promote a world war against Russia, and it is Zelensky, not 3 years, 4 years, and you fail, how are you going to be happy about it? I do not believe 1 second that Zelensky gives a shit about the territories going to the Russian Federation. For 1 second, I don't believe he cares. He has nothing to lose. What is to lose? He packs his bag and goes to London or New York or, I don't know, Tel Aviv. He doesn't give a shit. That's my assessment. I don't know what's in his heart. This is my, how should I put it so I'm more of a weasel? This is my opinion, because opinions are not sometimes based on facts. Okay? Am I cool? Am I okay, YouTube? All right. So my opinion is that Zelensky doesn't give a shit. Why? Because all these 3 years during the war, he wanted NATO to attack Russia. Always, the international community, what the Russians are doing, come on, do it, you have to act, Here is a missile, hit Poland, oh my God, NATO, you're on attack, Romania, missile over there, hit you gotta attack. Since the beginning. So, obviously, this guy is upset, not because he's for the Ukrainians. I want them to, we're not gonna agree. Who's you, we? Zelensky, who's we? Ukrainians, you mean? The ones that you got them into a war with unwinnable war? In public comments on Tuesday, Zelensky dismissed options that the administration of US President Donald Trump reportedly presented a high-level discussion in Paris last Thursday, which they believe could facilitate a peace agreement. One such proposal reportedly involved formal recognition of Crimea as Russian territory. They would not make the Russians have an orgasm, I guarantee you that. Why? Because they already had it before. They think Crimea is theirs anyway. They don't need your legalization of it. And I'm quoting, Crimea is our territory, the territory of the people of Ukraine. It's true. Now no more. It was given to you by Khrushchev in 1954 from Russia. we have nothing to talk about on this topic. It is outside of the Constitution. Okay, well, constitutions can be changed. No? Yep. So, listen to me. If Zelensky would be, I don't know, Mr. Kosmanchuk, Mr. Emilian Kosmanchuk, and he would be a Ukrainian, the president of Ukraine, and really his actions and statements would prove that he works for the benefit of the Ukrainian people. I would believe that. Like, yeah, man, I mean, other countries are trying to decide for you what territories your country wins or loses. This is awful. The problem is, you don't have Emilian Kosmanchuk in charge of Ukraine, you have Zelensky Stein. And he checkmarked certain things when he was elected as your president, Ukraine. So he got you together with Putin, and now you're lost. You're lost. You should not look at Putin, you should look at Zelensky. Zelensky is the one that you want in, hey, here is Zelensky right there. You know what it is? Okay, Vlad, hints. So there you go. According to the Post, citing an anonymous official briefed on the situation, there is an anger in Washington over Kiev's reluctance, no, it's Zelensky's reluctance, to accept proposals to cede territory to Russia, and that Ukraine prefers to discuss a complete ceasefire first and everything else later. It doesn't work that way. You know why? Because you lost. Japan could not impose anything on the United States of America or on anybody else, or Germany at the end of the Second World War. Why? They lost. They lost. So, all right, anger, Zelensky is going to go. As I said, Trump's big problem is that he's got Witkov, he's got my friend Stephen Miller over there, he's got many others of that kind of stripe that maybe will have kind of a sympathy, group sympathy for Zelensky. And I don't know how he's going to be doing something without being called anti-this and anti-that. Look what he's doing with Bibi. But Trump is doing a balance. He balance beam. He helps those guys in the Middle East, and he hopes that he's left alone in other areas. Now, okay, well, I helped you there. I gave you everything. I'm going to bomb Iran for you. What's going on? Now let me, all right, DEI, diversity, this kind of thing. Let me, okay, we're going to let you that, but Iran, remember, that's how it plays. What do you think he's allowed with DEI? Who pushes DEI? Who pushes diversity? Who pushes many other things that are garbage for the American people? Go and look at the names. Washington, D.C., no. The Hollywood, media, entertainment industry, university professors, check their names. Their real names, again. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see how Putin will not be trialed. Why? For obvious reasons. He's winning right now, or not losing, and he's too strong. Ukraine form. MP, Council of Europe and ICC International Criminal Court unlikely to bring Russia's leaders to justice. Well, when they're going to bring Netanyahu to justice, then you're going to have some credibility. The Council of Europe and the International Criminal Court will not be able to bring Russia's top military and political leadership to justice for the crimes of aggression against Ukraine. This was reported by Maria Fedorenko, MP, head of the Ukrainian delegation to peace, in the program of Ihor Dorhov on the Ukraine Forum YouTube channel. So she says no. The Council of Europe, I'm quoting, is an international organization that has recently celebrated 75 years of activity, but is not a court, and is not an international court, such as the International Criminal Court, which operates in the Netherlands. Although it would not be able to bring the top political and military leadership of the Russian Federation to justice either. There are very specific legal reasons to this. Not only that, how are you going to do it? Do you think that the Russians will do what, I'm sorry to say it, the Serbs did to Milosevic? Slobodan Milosevic? Do you think so? I hope not. I hope not. I don't give you my parents to be judged by you, and you don't give your parents to be judged by me. Okay? If you do that, you're a weasel. Anyway, let's move on. Trump administration halts Russian war crimes probes in Ukraine 6 hours ago, today on the 23rd of April. Since taking office, the administration withdrew from the EU-led international group tasked with punishing Moscow for violating international law. The White House also scaled back the Justice Department's War Crimes Accountability Team and eliminated a program to seize assets of sanctioned Russian oligarchs. Why? most of the Russian oligarchs are like Zelensky, so he wouldn't dare. Additionally, two sources told the Washington Post that the administration abolished a congressionally mandated intelligence coordinator position responsible for collecting data on Russian crimes across U.S. government agencies. All right, data on Russian crimes across U.S. government agencies. This role established through bipartisan legislation, traitors, authored by Representative Jason Crow and former Representative Walz, now a national security advisor to President Trump, was intended to streamline evidence for international prosecutions. The atrocities coordinator position is tasked with holding Putin responsible for the crimes he's committed against the Ukrainian people, Crow told the Washington Post in a statement. This position was created by Congress on a bipartisan baboons. So, at one point, even a delusional individual has to realize that he is not what he identifies as. So even if an delusional US or YUS, we are fantastic, we are exceptional, we are this and we are that, and we are not even capable of beating China. I'm not saying even, but still. But we impose sanctions on the whole world. Not sanctions, tariffs. I mean, that's delusional. We can do this, we can do that, but we fight with Houthis. We fight with what? With 4 million people in Libya, remember? Or what? 20 million people in Iraq, Afghanistan, but we're tough. All of these with coalitions, mind you. So okay, this is delusional, and when you have to go to reality, we strike Houthis with 3 things. I thought that the Americans would raise those guys over there if they really wanted to do it, but they don't want. No, we can destroy it, but we don't want it. I don't think they can. Or they're afraid these guys are going to detonate something in New York or something. If you know what I mean? So again, and the European Union, again, they think they are. They are world champions. They were world champions, I don't know, 70 years ago maybe. But now they're just a whole old whore that nobody wants. Nobody wants. It's a dying structure. The European Union will disintegrate unless it's going to go in a tyranny, complete tyranny, because countries will try to, secede, get out of it. And these guys will not let them go if they can. You'll see that. Countries one by one is going to say, we want out, like Hungary or Slovakia or others. We want out, and I guarantee you the Brussels will not be the civilized, Democrats, capitalist guys and suave. They're not going to be that. You see, they're going to try to defend with coup d'etats and others the union, how should I put it, tyrannical unit. Let's go to the Germans who screw themselves with all those sanctions. But they will not recognize it. Why? Because they live in a delusion. Again, until they will not have anything to eat and they will be, whomever, the Brits destroyed Germany. That's my one of the assessments. I will explain. Germany faces 3rd year of zero growth, media. 3rd year. The government has reportedly cut its GDP forecast in response to the U.S. tariff hike and uncertainty over Washington's trade policy. It's not only that, it's because of the sanctions. You guys, in order to produce something, to sell it, in order to produce something, you have to use energy. Energy is more expensive now than it was before. So what are you going to do? You increase the price of production, and therefore who's going to buy it? You can't compete. A Mercedes is not going to be $100,000, it's going to be $200,000. What are you going to do about it? Nobody's going to buy it, or less people. Germany is facing the 3rd straight year of economic stagnation following the latest U.S. tariffs hike. Earlier this month, U.S. President did this, According to the report, Chancellor Olaf Scholz's outgoing government has revised its 2025 GDP forecast for Germany to 0. Right there. To 0, that's the forecast. Down from 0.3 in January. So, this would mark the first time in history that the European Union's largest economy has failed to grow for 3 consecutive years. After contracting in 2023-2024, the government expects a modest rebound in 2026, with growth now projected at 0.9%, down from an earlier estimated 1.1. More sanctions, anybody? More sanctions? And that gets me to the last topic, which is who's going to win the next elections, if allowed. Poll: over 50% of Germans believe Alternative für Deutschland could win next parliamentary elections. Why? As many as 51% of Germans believe that the far-right Alternative for Germany party is likely to win the next parliamentary elections, the INSA poll conducted for the Bild newspaper showed. Got it? Why? That's the reaction. That's the pendulum. Just like this, my friends. Why the Brits won? The Brits, one of their main foreign policies is no strong country on the European landmass continent. That's what they want. They want a weak European. That's why when you see, oh, the Brits had a problem with the French, because the French were becoming strong and they created coalitions. When the Germans became strong, coalition. When the Germans again get strong, coalition. With whom? With the baboons in America right now. They take over. They take over Germany. The Germans are just baboons somehow. And I don't think the Alternative for Deutschland will be allowed to run for elections. I don't think so. They will be banned. I think they will be considered illegal. They will be designated as a extremist, and by their German freedom and democracy law of this, they will be banned. And that's it. Problem solved. Boop, just like that. Do you think the Germans were going to go in the streets and going to overthrow the government? Nah, they will not do that. Why? They're too civilized. And besides, when they would try to do that, if some will try, you have the other guys in charge of them, and they're going to remind them, oh my God, remember the Second World War? You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty for something you haven't done, but hey, collective punishment for you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.